Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, that's a little better. It's a gorgeous day, and we don't have to put jackets on yet, so I think that's pretty cool. And someone said today's the last day they're wearing sandals because pretty soon, socks and shoes. Oh, my God. All right, welcome to Althea on this glorious Sunday. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your part of your Sunday with us. We're so happy to see you all here. Do we have any first-timers here by any chance? First-timers, not today. Oh, so you've all been here before. Okay. Terrific. Then you know if you have a cell phone to please put it on vibrate or silent, or that setting known as stun, and just so it doesn't go off during the service. I always have to check mine, because you know Sergeant Sarma will collect them if they go off. Or maybe that's Saint Sarma instead of Sergeant. All right. We have just before I get into the opening prayer, today is going to be a real interesting subject matter, and it's on visioning. And if you've been coming here or familiar with New Thought, visioning is probably something that you're familiar with, but we wanted the leaders of the visioning group team for the next iteration of Althea to do a presentation. So that's why Reverend Mary Jo Honiotes and Reverend Arica King are presenting today, to share with you and also go through what does it mean to vision something. So that's very exciting. We've also had some interesting communications from members of our community. Yes?
I didn't have any of these visioning forms over here.
Okay. Absolutely. If you don't have a visioning sheet of paper, just let Marilyn know and she'll give you one. It's going to be part of an experiential part of the service today. And we've had some communications from members of the congregation community about masks. So we are going to reiterate that policy. I know it's a pain in the tuchus for everybody, probably, but we do want to be respectful of the guidelines, and we are operating on a little more strict level than what perhaps the state is actually allowing us to do, but we are erring on the side of caution. So if you are inside, unless you're speaking up here on stage or performing, please wear a mask, okay? It's just be respectful for, and I know it's a contentious issue, but we're here to be of service to each other as well. All right. Let's see. I don't think that's about all I need to go through. Let's do an opening prayer. So, we just breathe. Nice and simple and nice and easy. And a shampoo does not have reign over those words, nice and easy. So, nice and easy. Just breathe in, breathe out. And focus on that breath. That air that animates us. And as we release that air, it turns into the nourishment of our plant life on this beautiful planet. And so there is this circle of just breathing. So simple, so vital, so much a part of oneness. And we are each and every one of us part of the one, individualized expressions of it. And throughout the ages, this presence, this power, this force, this energy, this love has gone through an innumerable amount of names, and we call it God, Allah, Shiva, Buddha, Yahweh, Great Spirit. And when we look in each other's eyes, we know that that power of love illuminates those eyes in every person we see. For every person, there can be no exception, wears the face of Spirit. Each person is a divine presence on this planet. And I know that each and every one of us has stresses and strains, and as we maybe even experience that getting here, just as much as you can, just let it go. Just let them go. And find that source of peace within you. For in a way, that's why we come here. To remind ourselves, to be with each other, to know that we belong to a community, that we belong to, no matter the number of people in this gathering, to a bigger picture. And I know that each and every one of us will find what he or she searches for here today, in the peace and the love and the harmony that is Althea. For I know we take that finding out into the real world, because that is where we most need it and where it needs us most. To represent that oneness as we go about our next week, our next month, our next year. And so, with gratitude to yourself, just mention a few things of what you're thankful for, of what you're grateful for, of what you appreciate. Because there's nothing like gratitude that gets us in tune, that brings us to a place of peace and joy and harmony. And that's when we say thank you for this or for that or for it all, or just for being, for this breath we call life. and all of the experiences we have had, we will have, and that we are having right in this most precious moment. And so, again, with some breaths, just let every thought go. And once again, come back to that breath and just be. And in wonder and amazement, just be alive. And together we say, Amen, and so it is.
We're going to do something special with a statement of being today. We're going to add a sung response. You might remember it from last week when Alice Brink did it as part of her message. It's "You are the face of God." So if you'd like to, since we're going to sing after the statement, if you'd like to stand as you're able to join me in the statement of being, and then "You are the face of God." God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with this. Perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love.
I love that song. All right. Thank you, Daryl and Rick, for that beautiful music and that beautiful song. It's time for our message today. So Reverends Arica and Mary Jo are going to be presenting on visioning and what that means and how it has affected and does affect and will continue to affect this grand adventure that we're all on. Whether we want to be on it or not, we're on a grand adventure. And it's actually a very exciting time to be here at Althea and be a part of this community. So just a few highlights. Mary Jo has been coming to Althea. How many years have you been coming here? 5 years, so she's been a great presence here. And she delights in her any opportunity to be a celebrant. She loves helping individuals. She's been a mindfulness educator for over 30 years. She is an ordained minister for Centers for Spiritual Living, and she uses her training for the wisdom of nature to support others during times of change and transformation. Reverend Arica King practices spiritual psychology for healing core deep issues, and she's been a member of Althea for many years. Do you know how many? No, a lot. And she's recently participated in panels for us here on stage, and most notably for our Mariposa program supporting LGBTQ plus initiatives. And she's just completed a new book, How to Change, Finding and Moving into Love. That's an acronym, LOVE, Living One's Vital Essence. And that's coming out this year with, is it out yet? No, but it will be coming this year from the Hay House. So please welcome Reverends Mary Jo and Arica.
Hello. Oh, come on up. Come on. We're quite the pair. How are we doing? Happy, beautiful morning. Temptation to think a little bit about fall, but not just yet. So, first of all, I would like to thank the board. When Jonathan gave his notice, I think I called Rick and I said, I got 2 hits. And one of those hits was, I would like to offer the community the practice of visioning during this interim time. And so I think you guys met and you came up with a team, when your work with Alma came up with a team template that we kind of fit into, which was take a few months to gather information at this time, this was through visioning, and then be willing to present to the community. So that's what we're doing today. Thank you, everyone who helped this morning. I was a little late. Devin, Shannon, and where are you, dear Usher? Over here. Madeline? No. Anyway. Marilyn, sorry, I almost got you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And for those of you who have been to the visionings, would you just raise your hand? We've had 3 of them. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so any of you that this sparks your interest, you can talk to someone who's been to the visionings. We'll be deciding after today is somewhat the completion of our project, but we'll be deciding if we want to continue to do these visionings. So this particular tool was founded by Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Back in 1985, I'm thinking that is, someone do the math for me real quick, 35 years ago or so, 35 plus, he was directed to start a church. And at that time, he was speaking all over, he was teaching, but of course, he had a hesitancy to start a church, just like Nora Brooks did. He gathered all of his friends, and it just naturally happened. Gathered people in his living room, and it naturally happened that they were asking the question, what is seeking to emerge through me? What's happening here? What does God want from me? What does life want from me? And then it began to emerge that they would say, well, what do I need to do to be part of that vision? Because they got a really big vision when they asked that question. Well, what do I need to do? What do I need to become? And then, what do we need to release? Like, what do we need to get out of the way in order for that vision to unfold? And then they said, well, what gifts and talents do I already have that are in support of this vision? And then they would add a very last question would be like, is there anything else, Spirit? I'm using Spirit will be my word for God today. Is there anything else, Spirit, you would have us know? And so that practice was a practice of listening. And today, now this book was written in 2012 before everybody went virtual. Today, it is a core practice at the Agape International Spiritual Center, and they serve 10,000 local individuals in LA, and I'm sure with the virtual ministry they are way over that now. So I was involved in all of that for many, many years, learning from him as that tool came into the Centers for Spiritual Living. And so I just have a passion for it, and I called Rick and said, hey, can I offer this? And then, of course, Arica and I were together in a past life at a past spiritual center, and so she has used the tool herself and offered to be a part of the team. So that's how we come here to you today. This visioning is not visualization. So there are many tools out there that say, let's create a vision board, and the vision board has images and it has words on it, and that's a beautiful, beautiful practice. And I'm going to even step out here and say that that is using spirit in a masculine way. So it's saying, this is what I want. It's like shooting an arrow. into the universe and saying and allowing the universe to uh, um, coalesce around that arrow, right? You're saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm visualizing, and it's powerful. This visioning is more of a feminine tool, feminine face of God tool, because it's about listening. It's about revealing. This metaphor has been used for many, many years, where you speak about the intelligence and the wisdom and the joy of life and spirit. It's always happening, right? And the metaphor is that it's like tuning into a particular radio station. Well, let's see. For the older folks in here, we know about tuning in as the little bar moved from, from one space to the other. But that it's all happening at once. You can listen to a radio station, but you know that there are other things happening at the same time. So visioning, this tool is tapping into what is happening. And how many of you had had the experience in your life where you've let go into something and you've realized that your God, your higher power, your connection knew more than you did? Thank you very much. Okay. That's the essence of this, is to open to hear or to receive information in whatever way that it comes when you hear a particular question asked. So we're going to do it together as a community today. It's going to be very brief. I'm spending 10 minutes trying to capture 35 years of a body of work that has been, that exists in lots of spiritual communities. And the other thing I want to say before I'm going to have Arica talk a little bit about how the practice has been used in her life with a client, or she'll just let you know how she's going to tell you that. And then she's going to open us up for the process, and we'll do that today. We all have senses, right? Our sight, our hearing, our smell, our taste, our knowing. And I have done some work, taken some classes a while ago about the value of our senses as psychic senses, right? So we see things, we receive guidance by hearing things, we receive guidance by feeling something. Sometimes we get guidance and it's what I call a drop-in, right? You get this guidance, it just drops in, something just drops in. And usually you can tell that's the prophetic prophecy, that's your prophetic psychic sense, because something drops in and it takes you 20 minutes or maybe a lifetime to explain. So this is what visioning develops for you. It develops your intuition and it develops those senses, because information comes to you, you see or you hear or you sense or you smell, or you just know something right away. So this is what this practice is for. Have I covered it well enough? Are there any questions just in terms of what I've said or clarity? Okay. I'm going to turn it over to Arica.
Before I share an example, let me give a very brief neurology lesson. I, in my past, really only focused more mentally on what could go wrong. And mentally, that's kind of evolutionary from, back in the days of saber-toothed tigers and all, we had to worry about keeping ourselves safe. What could go wrong? But now there are other things that are more important for us. And in my work, I've worked mostly with individuals, but occasionally with a group. And what I'm going to share today is a story that came from a kind of unusual circumstance, in that as a counselor, there's not usually a mixing in the worlds of psychology, but I ended up being a mentor for someone who was near having her degree, doctorate in psychology. She could not find an internship, though, and her school was about to throw her out, saying, you have to have an internship or you can't be a psychologist. And so in that dilemma, in my being a mentor for her, I basically said, I know you don't understand what I'm doing in spiritual psychology, and you don't really get out of the medical model much, but let me share what I do with you, and you can maybe appreciate more of what I do, and it might help you. So because she was off in a distant state, I had a remote session with her, and in that, the question was, what's your vision? What's holding you back from getting your internship? Because she was really literally on the edge of being thrown out of school, had no hope of an internship showing up at the time we did the work. But we went through the visioning process and looking at what was holding her back. And the next thing after that was, in 2 weeks, she was leaving Michigan, where she was, for California for a really great internship. That's how miraculous the processes can be when we get out of following the old example of we plan and our futures and we plan what we want, but we don't really give much power to it when it's mental. And there is the old cliche that failing to plan is planning to fail. And so we do achieve what we work towards. And when we bring in what we're working towards into a greater than a mental level, amazing things happen. And so today we'll give you a mini example of that and invite you to stay for going deeper with that with me this afternoon.
So Rick, I forgot to ask you this before service, but would you play some music for us behind the visioning?
Let's go ahead with the CD.
Yeah, that's fine. I can't really hear you behind the mask, sorry, but that's okay. We can get music here?
Oh, no, I just thought you had a CD.
Oh, did you have a CD?
I gave them a CD.
All right. Oh, let me say a few things before we begin. One, you do not have to participate in this if you don't want to, okay? You can be a witness. You can just take this as a beautiful beautiful meditation opportunity. No forcing here. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's hanging here after our visioning. Okay?
So as has been indicated, the intent for this is just to get relaxed, get the ego and the conscious a bit more out of the way to allow Spirit to speak to us more directly. And so I request that you begin by looking up, not by bending your neck and looking up that way, but just with your eyeballs, looking more up. Take in a deep breath. As you release the breath, feel yourself letting go of any tension, any stress, any worry. And then when you're ready, take in another deep breath. And again, let yourself let go of any tension, any stress, any worry as you exhale. And then take in another deep breath. And again, as you exhale, let go of any tension, any stress, any worry. And now just relax for a moment. Just relaxing. And abbreviating the process a little bit, I invite you to go directly into a most relaxing, safe place. It can be a place that you know of that really exists. It can be a amalgamation of different aspects of favorite places. But just allow yourself to sense that you are in a favorite, most relaxing place where you can relax. Allow yourself to sense the beautiful visual things that are there. If you're outdoors, perhaps you see a beautiful sky. If it's daylight, there may be clouds and sun and other things. If it's night, you may see a beautiful canopy of stars. But whatever it is you see, you enjoy whatever's around you. It may be a body of water like an ocean, a lake, a stream. But whatever is there, allow yourself to now feel the sounds that are there. Perhaps a gentle breeze blowing, or just total quiet. It could be the sounds of animals scampering about, birds singing, whatever. Allow yourself to note any aroma that is there. If you're out in the forest, it may be a woodsy, musty aroma. If you're in a floral place, there may be lots of beautiful fragrances. But whatever, enjoy it. And just enjoy how beautiful, beautiful this has you feel. You feel everything is just perfect. You know that you're safe and comfortable. And now just continue to relax in this setting, and knowing that as Mary Jo continues with the questioning and the process, that you are there. You are able to experience and hear Spirit. And you hear from your heart, through your heart.
And so just come back to your breath, recognizing how bright and activated your senses are. And I just want to gently stay in this space, but I would like you to gently raise your hand if you need a pen. Seems like our beloved ushers have taken care of everything. Thank you. Okay. And I'll guide you every step as we go through this. When I ask the first question, just allow whatever information comes. Don't censor it. If you get a vision of something, that's really good. However you hear or see, whatever your senses pick up. And then we'll spend just a little bit of time in that receiving state, and then I'll ask you to open your eyes and write down anything you would like to write down. And your sheet doesn't have the question on it because I wanted this to be a surprise. All right. So connected to that beautiful breath, let us open ourselves up to any information in whatever way that it comes. When we ask the question, what is Spirit's highest vision for Althea? Just let it come. What is seeking to emerge here at Althea Center for Engaged Spirituality? What is the highest vision? And when you're ready, you may begin to document that on your sheet. You might draw a picture, you may show some words or share the feelings, but go ahead and do that. Question number 1. Bring that to completion and go back to your breath. We come back to the breath and we open ourselves up again for any information in whatever way it comes. When we hear the question, what is my role in support of the highest vision of Althea? What is my role? What am I to become to support the highest vision of Althea? And you just may begin to write at any time. What is my role in support of this highest vision? And we listen and receive. And so let us come back to our breath. And we open up to any information in whichever way it comes when we hear the question, what must be released in order to support and fulfill the highest vision for Althea? What must we let go of? And just take the notes that you'd like to take on that. And then we come back to the breath again. And we open ourselves up to whatever information, in whatever way that it comes. As we hear the question, what gifts and talents, what skills and abilities already exist here in support of Althea's highest vision? What gifts and talents, what skills and abilities already exist? in support of this highest vision. Make notes appropriately. And then let's come back to the breath for our final question. And open ourselves up to any information in whatever way it comes when we hear this question. Is there anything else Spirit would have us know at this time that supports the highest vision for Althea? Is there anything else that Spirit would have us know? And when you're complete with that, just come back to your breath. And begin to contemplate, feel in your body the state of willingness. What does it feel like to be willing? Maybe think of a time when you're at a really high state of willingness. Because this vision has to unfold and reveal itself through you and through this community. And just say to yourself, I'm willing to allow this vision to reveal itself. Through me, through this community, I'm willing. And then take a moment to contemplate the beautiful energy of gratitude. Michael Beckwith says that gratitude is the energetic correspondence with what is seeking to emerge. As we spend time in gratitude, we are connecting with that which is revealing itself in our life. And also in this gratitude, we just know that this process today is complete, has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and we are complete, and we let go, and we allow, and together let us say, and so it is.
It appeared that many of you were able to go deep with that, and with that willingness and ability, I invite you, for those who are able to stay for a deeper dive this afternoon, I am available and will be leading the deeper dive where there will be a more in-depth focus or going deeper in terms of a greater process to help you go in deeper into yourself. And then the focus is going to be on your own role. How can you contribute to Althea, and how you can benefit in general in your life and seeing Spirit's vision for you. So I invite you to stay and go deeper.
Thank you. Okay, is there someone who's been at the visionings that wants to just say a few words about what you've learned or how it has contributed, or just your experience of the experience? Anyone willing to speak up? Barbara? Would you come up and use...
I've been to all three of the visionings that Mary Jo and Arica have led, and I've had some definite ideas. I had definite ideas before I went into the visioning, and each time, and it wasn't until after the third one, and this one really powerfully, that I really got, I'm not supposed to be thinking about this ahead of time. I'm supposed to be open and letting it come in. Because this is really just what Mary Jo said. It's really that feminine kind of a process. And so today was kind of different. It was neat. Thanks.
I think it's because the girls are here. Some of you know what I mean. Okay, so I just want to do this really briefly. We don't have a lot of time. I just want to give you a slice of this. I wanted to see if anyone, well, first of all, let me take a look at these. You can't read them. Well, some of you can, but just take a look at the symbology of these flip chart pages. These are the 5 questions that we asked. This is a compilation of all of the visioning notes that were repeated. So what would happen is after we finished up, 15 of us, do you have a question? Oh, okay, you're receiving, good. Okay, we would share out our visioning, and then we would say, well, openness, the highest vision for Althea, openness came up 4, 5, 6 times. Or all of these came up multiple times. The pieces that are on these sheets. This is kind of what happens, is we listen, and then we compile the notes, and then we say, well, these are the themes that are coming through. There were some really beautiful tropical themes that came through, some light, some images that came through as well. And this came to me this morning. Of course, this is how Spirit does this, first thing in the morning, that this is kind of symbolic of what visioning can be, that it's infusing the space. And we're supposed to kind of let go of what we got. We're supposed to let go of that a bit and allow it to reveal itself. I remember the beautiful gentleman who was in the first visioning, and one of his answers was, I'm to give more of myself here. And then on Pride Day, he's the one that did the song on the Pride Sunday. And I'm like, well, looky there. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, so this is a little, you're welcome to look at these answers. I have them on email. We can send them to you. We can maybe post them somewhere where people can see them. But these are the more than one time answer. So Spirit was coming through for people in a regular or in a repeated fashion, okay? What must be released? Judgment, ego, fear, holding on to the past. Is there anything else you want us to know? Be open to change, open to receive the new, the unusual. So that's just an example for you of how we use this. And let me do this other thing real quick, because then I want Rick to speak about something. So, does anyone want to tell me 1 or 2 words that they got on the first question? Shannon? Or whatever. You just go for it.
I heard all for one and one for all.
Nice. Did anyone get anything like that? Okay. Got some patterns. Okay. What must I become? Somebody want to share? What must we become? What must I become? Just something that they got during the visioning on that. Beverly?
Open and flexible.
Flexible. Anybody else get something like open, flexible? Okay. A few more. What must be released? Who would like to share just something that you got? Yes? Steffi.
Foregone conclusions.
Foregone conclusions. Anyone else? Something like that? Yes. Yes. You got what? Brave. Yeah. Brave. Yes. So that's an interesting thing because what must be released can actually sometimes be a good thing. Like what needs to be released into the, brave or courage. Sometimes people get that. What gifts, talents, skills, and abilities already exist to support this vision? What'd you get? How about beautiful space? Oh my God, for sure. Connection. Oh, who else got a connection? Beautiful space. What about enthusiasm, humor, leadership, art? Lots of gifts in this community. Compassion, yes. Awesome. And then lastly, this I think sometimes for me, Spirit is kind of like a cheerleader. Because sometimes for this last question, I'll get like, go for it, or you can do this, or it's all unfolding as it should. Is there anything else that Spirit would have us know at this time? Who wants to share something? Just speak up. We can do it.
Gratitude for what is.
Gratitude for what is. Anybody get anything kind of like that? Good. Okay. So just had a brief time to do this. What I would love for you to do, if you would like to part with your sheet, I would love for you to turn those in. Maybe we can put them. Can we put them back on that red table that's completely empty? Okay, good. The table with the red tablecloth. And we'll find a way to get those tabulated for next week. How about that? So the last piece I wanted to say before we move on, we will have the deep dive today with Arica, and I think we'll just do some sort of communication, or you guys give feedback to me or the board if you want to continue doing once a month visioning as we go forward. I'm not sure. So this is kind of the completion of what we signed up for, but happy to move beyond that if you'd like to. So I wanted to have Rick come up and talk a little bit about how the board has used these notes. So because many communities have a visioning core or a team, and they turn it over to leadership. And leadership uses them as they will, and it really is about creating a vibration in the space, in the hearts of the community. That's what visioning is. You're creating a vibration, you're creating an alignment with what's seeking to come here, and an alignment with the highest vision. Voila. Oh.
Okay. So really the timeline for all of this up to this point in time, I would say really started at the beginning of 2020. And we as a board were set to renegotiate Jonathan's contract. And so I have a background in HR, and we looked at past contracts, and with the board's guidance and input, we put together a contract, and then COVID hit. And so everything was put on a back burner. And you all know how indeed all of our lives changed. And then in January, Jonathan gave his notice that he was leaving Althea. And so, that threw us into another tailspin. And we realized at some point that we were going to need to search for another spiritual director. And that this was an opportunity for the community to come together and really participate in what it wanted Althea to look like and to be. And so part of this, I would say we didn't call it visioning, but I would say part of that is the survey that we had. We had 60 participants, and the overall feeling of that was that there was a desire for a spiritual director. Now, we then flash forward to about a month ago, we finally got a job description together. And you may be asking yourselves, oh my God, Jonathan gave notice in January and you just started to seek a spiritual director in the month of July. And it's like, well, yeah, that's the timeline. And, realizing that we rely on our volunteers, our board, all of our staff members to make sure that this is a great Althea experience, things just take time. They just do. But I believe in divine time, because if you are sincere in your visioning, and if you are familiar with affirmative prayers, there is a step known as release. And I say, and which Mary Jo and Arica, expressed in their talk about visioning today. But a phrase that I use is knowing that in perfect divine timing and perfect divine order, perfect divine manifestation. And so that takes the onus off of me. Things are not going to happen in my time or in my order, but in divine time. And so it's absolutely perfect where we're at right now. The visioning process, those 3 meetings, I would say definitely informed the job posting, which is on Indeed, if you want to look it up. Or maybe we could even put a link to it, Rick, in the next newsletter. And so I took some of the notes and at least looked at them, and it's like, this is really in accordance with what everyone is expressing. And I even added with the last one, because it was the last one that was specific to seeking a spiritual director. The first 2 were for Althea. The third one somehow morphed into spiritual director, which is fine. And so I looked at that before I sent Rick, our wonderful new administrative assistant, the final posting that was to go live with the input from board if they wanted to have any changes. And it's really fun. It's really fun. And so the vibrations of those 3 visioning sessions, I believe, are present in this job posting. Now, you have to keep in mind, we're a professional. We are seeking a professional person. So I, with my background, and the board looked at the posting, we needed to put this vibration into a concept that is conducive to have someone who would like to belong to a professional organization. Spirituality is a given. I mean, we're going to look for that, and that kind of a person is going to apply. And I really believe that as we seek the perfect person or persons, because we even have a bullet that we're open to co-leaders, that perfect person or those perfect persons are seeking us. That's just the way it's going to go, because it is within the realm of spirituality, but we are working within a world of substance. But that infused job posting is filled with spirituality. So I really encourage you to look at it. And so we are on, I think, a united right track. And it's a very exciting time, I think. I think we need to stay focused. We need to stay united. We need to keep the faith. We need to be respectful of each other's, feelings, thoughts, whatever, because we're all united. I mean, this place stands for oneness. It has since its inception. And that's what we're about to this day. I don't know, is there anything else I can add or any questions? All right.
When Rick and I were trying to pick a song for this morning, we found one that I really think speaks to at least how we feel about the Althea community, and hopefully how you feel about it as well. So this song is for Althea, but this performance actually is dedicated to Jason. It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time they go. But oh, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may tumble, Gibraltar may crumble. They're only made of clay, but our love is here to stay. In time the Rockies may tumble, Gibraltar may crumble. They're only made of clay, but our love is here. Our love is here. Our love is here to stay. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll have a reading from Sarma, our wonderful Sarma, who's in charge of our volunteers, who is the backbone of Althea.
These words were gifted to us by Hafiz. I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy My heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance, the sacred dance of life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up and lift others up. O sacred one, untangle my feet from all that ensnares. Free my soul that we might dance and that our dancing might be contagious.
Thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, it is time to open our hearts and share the fruits of your abundant consciousness. So, ushers, if you would please start passing around the baskets. We do have other ways for you to donate. We do have the dip jar in the back. We've also got a place for, what are we calling? Accounts with smile.amazon. We've got an account with King Supers. You can become an evergreen person by signing up for a weekly or monthly or daily donation. So there are plenty of ways to give from your heart. And I know that, it's weird thinking about giving money to your spiritual center, but this is how we keep the doors open. This is how you express your gratitude. This is how we are open another week, another year. And I know when you look around and you see maybe there's 40 people here, don't let that fool you, because there is action within the one mind, within spirit. And we will put more butts in these seats, I guarantee it, before the year is out. Oh gosh, now we have to do that, don't we? What was I thinking? And we have a wonderful blessing from Catherine. And when you're ready, Cushers, just bring your baskets on down, and we'll have a blessing from Catherine McKay.
Good morning. Thank you for everything you donate to the center. It's so appreciated by all of us and all of us that donate. So I was really excited about my thoughts today that I wanted to share, and then it occurs to me it's not really new news, but because what is really? But I'm going to tell you anyway. Okay. So some of you have been coming here for decades, some a few years, and for others this is brand new. But here's the exciting thing about Althea in my mind. This ongoing community is an energy in its own right. This entity we call Althea has been through more than a few incarnations, and each one has infused it with creativity and love. And so, here we are in our present. It's new and fresh, and it carries the wisdom of its colorful past. So, dear God, we are filled with gratitude for our history, for now, and for what lies ahead. Thank you. Amen.
We'll have a few announcements, and then Daryl will have a closing community song for us. And is she not here? Susan? Every time I sing her praises, she seems to be gone, but she's here now. This is Susan's last day. And I don't even know if I can go on. We have a card and certificate here for you. And we gave her a lovely going away present a couple of weeks ago, right? And come on down. Come on down. A new car. And it's an appreciation for all of the work that she puts in keeping this place afloat, in putting up with the board, and doing a wonderful, wonderful job of actually finding her, I don't want to use the word replacements, but her replenishments in Rick, who has made his presence well known here already, and Stephanie Whitehouse, who is in another state, but she's in charge of our media and marketing. So, and then she also, see, it takes 4 people to do her job. She also trained Aaron and Daryl to run our recording. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I know that all of us wish you the best. All right, on the back of your program, we have a couple of classes and offerings. There's Mariposa's First Wednesday Dialogue. That is happening on the 1st of September. Oh, God, 1st of September. So that's going to start at 6 for socializing. And Denver Post food and wine critic Bill St. John is going to be the guest speaker. And that's going to be downstairs in our lounge area, theater area, which has recently been, I think, buffed up by Daryl and Jason. So thank you for that. Also, Kathy Humphreys and her weekly community connections. And if you have it in your heart that you'd like to start volunteering, please see our wonderful Sarma. We're always looking out for volunteers. And I think, is there, Ginny, do you have any information about upcoming services?
Thank you, Rick. I am Ginny Castleberry. I am on the team that is bringing you exciting Sundays. Can I get a good morning, Althea? Good morning. Woo! Yes, even though it's almost noon, but that's us. I pictured in my visioning the dining room with food and full of people, really and truly, kids running around, families, elders, all colors, all languages. That's what I see coming back. If you knew us 18 months ago, if you remember us at Christmas before the pandemic hit, how cool it was in there, how full of people. If you are relatively new and you're looking at this small crowd, let's just blame it on summer, right? And blame it on remasking, because we will be coming back with a vengeance, a spiritual vengeance. There must be a way to do that and not be the Crusades or something. So that's my vision. I want to talk to you about speakers that are coming up, but first let me say I've announced a couple of times that we are going to have a music festival here on a Friday or Saturday night, probably in October, up on this stage. I already have probably more musicians than we can handle, but a few people have expressed interest in trying to help with that, so let's just call it a steering committee. The Althea Music Fest Steering Committee. If you want to be on it, email Sarma. She is staff, the word staff, at altheacenter.org. Let her know. You can, of course, let me know too, but it's easier if you go ahead and email her, because then we have your information, and we are going to get that rolling, and it's going to be a fundraiser, and it's going to showcase music. The musicians will get paid, because we always pay our artists. So that's coming up. Speakers, we have a lot of cool stuff coming. We have our Prayer Partners panel, where they're going to tell us stories about transformative, affirmative prayer experiences and how it works and what it's about. If you all remember from, again, this is all like pre-pandemic every time I talk about it, but we're going to bring back Peggy Evans. She gave an amazing message about something called restorative justice that she's involved with and what that means. We're going to get an update from her, or I might have her talk about how she married an amazing man named I'm not going to get this right, Rogelio, who's from Mexico. And just a little bit of interesting things about their relationship and what they've been through. Our very own Shannon Shepard is going to talk to us on about September 11th on September 12th. That's going to be a very special ceremony. Rich Redinger, who is from our own congregation, is going to talk. We have, oh my gosh, what else do we have here? I can't read my own notes. What the hell? Oh, we have new member Sundays coming up. Just a little over a month where we're going to celebrate new members and let's have a ritual around that. Many cool things coming. Invite your friends and neighbors and get over all your summer fever and get back in here. All right. Thank you, Rick.
Thanks. Just a couple more things before Daryl leads us in a community song. If you are in need an affirmative prayer, we have Nancy Ruff, who will be available behind. You can get to the prayer room through that hallway, or you can go around this banner. There's a door there, and she'll be available for you if you have something either exciting you would like to be prayed with or a challenge. This is also my time and our time to thank our wonderful crew, our staff, Daryl and Jason and all of the volunteers, and Sarma and all of you and each other for coming here and supporting this and spending some time with us. Thank you so, so very much. Daryl, take it away.
Thanks so much. Let me get my trusty little remote control here. Yeah, I just wanted to briefly mention, Rick already said something about it. We are going to be the host of Denver Comedy Underground every Saturday evening in the Basement Theater. So Jason and I did get it all set up so that it can be a really beautiful place to host that. And it made me realize that it's an underutilized resource. So I'd like to start doing some more Althea things down there. If you have a chance to walk through there and take a look at it, let me show off a little, and I'd really appreciate that. That'd be great. So it's all open and ready for you to go take a look. So today for our community song, I'd like to do something that also speaks to what we're all in the middle of. So if you could stand and join me on The Impossible Dream. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
one a few hours, and I had a pain, and they couldn't find a reason for it, and but then I did what my brother said: take a Tylenol and Advil and coffee.
I did it, huh?
Two researchers at Oxford said that that does a lot for pain, and it fixed me up.